All right, welcome back to the Rice Report, everybody. Eric Rice here, of course, where we talk about the three things you're not supposed to talk about in public: money, politics, and religion. Today, we are joined again by the illustrious Tony Shaffer. Happy to have him on here as we're a week away from 9/11. Very involved in that situation. We're going to cover 9/11 a little bit as we come up on the anniversary here. We're going to talk about what's happening in his town right now with a interesting story that's happening in America, where we're imprisoning or jailing Civil War statues. But I think there's so much to talk about right now, Tony. It's just great to have you on. Thanks for joining us again.
Thanks. Good to be here, Eric. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been, I don't think it's been quite a national news item, but it's pretty big local. Basically, we have a Civil War statue here in Edenton in Chowan County that is dedicated to the fallen of the South, the soldiers, and it says to our fallen soldiers. And there's been controversy since about 2021, 2022, when the extreme left wing wanted it moved. Now, I'm on record. I'm not saying anything I haven't already said, even though now I'm an elected official. I'm a county commissioner, so I have to be a little bit careful. My previous comments, I stand by regarding the fact that I just was not for the idea of moving it. With that said, the city wanted it moved. The county agreed. There was lawsuits that stopped it. Anyway, one of the lawsuits was dismissed by a local judge last Friday. I think it was a week ago tomorrow. Anyway, by that, no, 2 weeks ago, Monday. It's been 10 days. And as soon as that was done, apparently the city decided, we're just going to move it. And so in the dead of night on Saturday, they moved it. And they had to store it somewhere. So ironically enough, it's stored behind the walls in the recreation area of the local county jail. So they put the statue into jail, essentially.
So American history has now been imprisoned permanently.
Well, apparently. I mean, we have a plan to put it back out. Just saying, we the county don't have it yet. So I'm speaking within the context of we the county have not received the statue yet officially. Just saying. So
well, that's good. We'll break them out. We'll break out the statue. We'll get the trucks and we'll get the hitches and the ropes, and we'll just bust that thing out of there and get it back on. Sure. It's American history, whether you like that history or not. It's still history.
I'm on your side. I agree. So
yeah, I think it's
plus between you and me. I always remind people I'm still from the North, and I like having the South reminded they lost the war. Just saying. So if you take all the statues down, they no longer are reminded they lost the war. Just saying. I am a Republican. Just saying. So
that's a very good stance to take. That is good. It'll work in any argument. You can't refute that.
But
it is fascinating that we're still trying to do this. I mean, this is like Marxism 101, erase history.
Exactly.
Well, you don't erase history. You erase the history you don't like or that you don't agree with. That's
exactly.
Point. Yeah.
In 1984, Orwell, memory hole. Yeah. It's all the same.
There's so many parallels with Orwell and his predictive programming for society back in, was it written in the 40s? So if you haven't read 1984, I would suggest you do it because you're living through it for at least the last 10 years. Probably that's as long as I can remember, probably my entire life. I just didn't notice beforehand. But one of these major things, I'm waiting to see until they remove the 9/11 statue somewhere because you don't want to remember that either. Where are we at with this, Tony? I mean, one thing that we talked about last time was Able Danger and your involvement in Able Danger, all the turmoil that caused in your life trying to tell the truth. But where are we at now? I mean, we're supposed to be sitting in an era where Trump is promising disclosure. Are we going to get disclosure of the real events?
Well, I hope so. So coming up next week, Dennis Kucinich, Crazy Dennis, as I call him, we're friends, Representative Dennis Kucinich, Kurt Weldon, and I will be speaking at an event in Washington, D.C. on the 11th on that evening. So at this point, it looks like we are going to come together and do, I'm trying to, let's see if I can bring it up here, the actual organization information. The organization is the 9/11 DC Forum. Basically, it's going to be a group of firemen, of former firemen who really do put this all together and have a big discussion there in DC. So let's see here. I'm trying to make sure I've got all the information. So there's a thing out. It's called Turning the Tide, 9/11 Justice in 2025. You can actually go to Eventbrite. There's an event thing that actually outlines the speakers, and it's 9/11. It's both. It's the 10th of September, 11th of September, and 12th September. There's going to be podcasts of it. The actual address is 2111 Decatur Place, Northwest Washington, D.C. Senator Ron Johnson will be speaking as well. Tucker will be speaking. Tucker Carlson will speaking via live stream. And so I'd like to believe, Eric, that having this group come together will help illustrate what's going on, and more importantly, actually encourage President Trump, who we're trying to get his attention to do something about this. Basically, the objective is to expand transparency. Eric, just at the time we're taping this, RFK Jr. is testifying, and he's talking about all the documents that were destroyed, all the data that was ordered destroyed. Do we really think that didn't happen for 9/11? For those who didn't do their job? So we're calling for complete transparency. We're calling for a new, independent, actual investigation of the events, and only President Trump's going to be able to approve that. So with Tucker Carlson, I hope Tucker will bring a bunch of us on to expand what we're talking about. We want to do essentially get as much information out there as possible. And Eric, like I said last time I was on, there's still two things that I can't talk about in any great detail because they're still above top secret. And only Pete Hegseth and the president are going to be able to basically classify this so we can talk about it.
Well, I think number one, it's something we all need to know, right? Like the longer you let it linger without actual disclosure, the more conspiracy theories that come up. Some people have done an incredible job breaking down the series of events, and they are absolutely worth disclosure and sharing with the world. You know, I know a couple people that lost their lives in that building, and I absolutely hope that they get some sort of clarity and closure behind this. We all need it as a country. There's so much disclosure. We have the Epstein Files that are happening now, right? So we're now hearing that some people will be, redacted from the file. Everything's redacted. Like I took a look at these files. There's nothing I didn't know already in there. But now we have this. You're on TV with political commentary quite a bit. I want to get your take on this. Where is all this hate coming from for Thomas Massie? Right? Like, it's ridiculous.
I like Thomas. I consider us, kind of friends, and I don't think there's anything wrong with calling for the documents to be released in a bipartisan way. I don't care. Do I think Trump's on there? No. I think Trump knew Epstein. He knew all the people in Palm Beach. Just saying.
Of course.
And I think, and we're going to be, we were down there at a Mar-a-Lago event. We'll be down there again in February for the Veterans Parade Gala.
I'll see you there.
Yeah, Eric, a lot of Trump's friends are probably on that list. And I think that's the biggest reveal that's coming, that a lot of people who maybe Trump knew in passing or considered friends maybe had dealings with that. So I think, I just don't think there's any there. I think this is another troll by Trump. I think Trump pulling back on this, getting the left to go nuts about it. I think they're going to pay the price for that because I think once they see what's out there, I think they're going to have a lot more damage than Trump. I just think it's this Massie thing is like, I'm just not worried about it. I don't know what everybody's upset about at this point.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, that was one of the things that I voted for, right? Like I voted for Trump to get disclosure on the Epstein files. Now he's now saying it's a hoax, doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down the other day. It's all, we live in a clown show, fifth generation war. We have no idea what's happening. Right
exactly.
Now. So, and I think that's always something I keep in the back of my mind, though I don't understand like this vile hatred for Thomas Massie, who's trying to get a campaign promise to be fulfilled, which is what we would want our Congress to do to a president, right?
Exactly. And I don't always agree with Thomas, but I admire his courage. And I've full disclosure, he used to be part of the small group that my friend, the late Representative Walter Jones ran. Walter Jones was fearless. And Walter would have Thomas Massie, Scott Perry, Judge Louis Gohmert, and Tulsi Gabbard. And to some of the meetings I was asked to brief at regarding strategy, and I was, full disclosure, I was one of the advisors to the Freedom Caucus. Yeah, it is what it is, and believe it or not, Tulsi was secretly part of the Freedom Caucus before anybody knew it. I know I'd walk into meetings and they're all together there. So anyway, I'm just saying,
And
that
Louis is fearless too. I've had dinner with
oh
Louis, and
yeah. And
he's
so I
truly
love these
fearless
guys.
guy.
I love
Yeah,
them all. I love them all. Anyway, my point being is that sometimes you just got to take that path less taken and call for it. I think it's important to get the disclosure, but I don't think it's going to be the reveal, because I'm pretty sure the Biden folks would have used it against Trump a long time ago if
yeah.
there was anything there. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, just the reality is, like, he was friends with Epstein for 20 years. No one's denying that. No one's
Yeah,
denying that Epstein went to 2 of his weddings. I have no inclination to think anything less than his name is in the files. It doesn't mean he did anything wrong, right? If
right.
you were arrested for something right now that was totally nefarious, my name would be in the file for having interviewed you. So, like, what are we
Well,
tiptoeing around? Let's get this thing out there.
well, look, Hillary Clinton attended all sorts of stuff, and I consider her a big criminal. And
Yeah.
nobody can deny that she shows up like a bad penny. Just saying. So
Oh yeah, Hillary Clinton's footprints or fingerprints are all over everything that's happened in the past. Well, so is
oh yeah,
Obama. I mean, there's the general characters, and they're not just on the left, Tony. Like we absolutely have a uniparty with some people, I hope, trying to break it. I don't know if that's the case because we don't know what the hell reality actually is today. But I'm
right.
hoping that there's people breaking that veil. I've been banking on it for years, so I've always remained pretty patient with this. But I kind of looked at Twitter last night, and it was just vile hatred for Thomas Massie, and I'm like, what are you mad at this guy for? And the response was he's making
Yeah,
Trump look
yeah,
bad. Trump's doing a great job making himself look bad. Like he's calling it a
yeah.
hoax and saying move forward. This can't be real. Like that's my perception. This is all kabuki theater.
Well, I've made comment on Newsmax that as a military case officer, as a spy, I always watch people's body language,
Yeah.
and we're always looking for tells. Essentially, it's like the demeanor. I've caught people on demeanor hits. I actually could tell stories about that. It's like, okay, this is what's really going on. So
I'm
Trump's
gonna ask for those
demeanor when he
stories.
well, Trump when Trump talks about this, he departs from his normal demeanor, which tells me that I don't know what's going on, but something's going on with that. And I think it's just an epic troll of the left. It's like, oh yeah, there's nothing here. And then the more he says that, the more they want it. So I, as a military case officer, we always study language. Essentially, people say way more sometimes with um, facial expressions or mannerisms. So Trump departed from his normal body language when he talks about this. And I know I commented that on this on Newsmax, like, yeah, there's something up here. I don't know what it is. And it's not like he's guilty. I've seen people who are guilty do things.
Yeah.
It's more like, yeah, there's nothing here. Why are you talking about it? And I think it's the ultimate troll against the other side, because I think they're going to come to find that there's names on there they're going to regret having released. Just saying. So.
Yeah, and we all know it. I mean, that's the thing is like most people who've been in this for 10 years researching this stuff, we all know who's on the list. We know who's
Yeah.
on the flight logs. We've seen the flight logs. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I think the frustration from one side bleeds out because it looks like protectionism, for protecting people who are doing nefarious things. And the other side is looking at it and saying, well, I want to get the other guy. Right. We just
Yeah.
live in this massively gaslit society where everything is gaslighting. Like it doesn't matter. I've completely walked away from politics. I'm no longer Republican or Democrat until the stuff gets cleaned up. I'm an independent,
Yeah.
a watcher on the wall, just observing things. And I observe the same thing. I don't think Trump is guilty of anything in there. I think his name is in there. And I think it's probably embarrassing to be in there at all. Like, he met with him at a lunch club or something in New York. Just get over it. Nobody's going to care if you got a meeting with a guy. That's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for people who met with somebody. We're looking for people who did bad things to young girls. That should be on the top of everyone's mind, is protecting our youth at all times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I'm with you on this, and I think it's a lot of ado about nothing. Not that it's not important to get out. I think it'll get out. I think there's enough,
there's
people
desire
behind
for it.
Yeah, again, Thomas Massie pushing forward. So what? Let him push.
Yeah. I don't get the hatred. I really don't get it. I don't understand it. But that just shows the power of gaslighting. And there are clearly people online who don't want this to be released, and they have an army of people who are making up anything they possibly can to get people to go the other direction, which is happening a lot. And as we approach 9/11, that's another topic that gets swept under the rug quite a bit, except for this time of year. And I can't wait to hear your stuff with Tucker and with Ron Johnson and all that stuff. But what day is that again? Is that on the 11th, or is that?
Yeah, let me bring it up again. So it is actually a 3-day event in DC. It's called Turning the Tide. 9/11 Wednesday, September 11th, 12th, September 10th, 11th, and 12th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. The International Center for 9/11 Justice is running it, and it's called Turning the Tide, 9/11 Justice in 2025. So it's in DC. People can look it up. It's on you can Google it, Turning the Tide, and it's got Richard Gage, my friend Richard Gage, the Architects for Truth, John Carricow from the CIA, whistleblower, my friend Dennis Kucinich, Ron Johnson, Tucker Carlson, and Ted Walter, and that's myself. So it's going to be, we're all talking over the days, and it'll be something. And I think Tucker, I know, has been working with Kurt Walden on this. I've talked to Tucker about it a little bit. So Tucker is kind of generally aware of what we want to get out. I think I've had conversations with Senator Johnson, not recently, but last year. And he's going to probably have new hearings on this because, to your point, Eric, it's like, yeah, well, everybody talks about this once a year and it goes away. Well, it's time we get to the bottom of it because there are significant unanswered questions. And as a matter of fact, that's the topic of my talk. My 15-minute talk is unanswered questions. And one of the observations is the same people who brought you these other controversies, the 9/11 hoax, the whole thing with Fauci, the China connection, same people. It's the same deep state operatives over and over. Comey, Brennan, Clapper. Clapper is like the dark prince of stupidity that kind of, runs all through. And I know Clapper. I had to go to a funeral for my dear friend, Lieutenant General Pat Hughes, former director of DIA, former undersecretary of Homeland Security. He passed. We had his funeral in Arlington. Well, there's Jim Clapper in the back with his bald head. And it's like, oh, I wanted to say something so bad. It's like, no, I'm going to take the high road because Pat Hughes, General Hughes, would have wanted me to do that. Otherwise, I was ready to say something about, hey, I don't see your lawyers. You should bring them with you.
Yeah, where are they? I didn't think you didn't leave home without them.
Yeah, so I didn't do that. But anyway, my point being, it's the same cast of characters. Sure. Hillary Clinton, the Clintons. So I think it's one other thing we need to get to. And I think people, again, are going to be shocked when they get to the truth about how much we did know, how much we could have done to stop it, what the options were to stop it, at what level we could have directed things to happen. Just saying. Sure. I mean, there's a lot more out there. And again, I've been restricted, even though I've testified to the top secret level. There were things that were beyond top secret. I was told, you can't say anything about that. You can't even acknowledge it exists. So it's kind of like, okay, it's 24 years later. I think we can finally kind of reveal that stuff. Don't you think?
I hope so. And I hope Bush is implicated in there as well. At least, clear his name or make it dirty. Either one. I just want the truth.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm kind of the oddball in politics. Like, I really don't care about either side. I just want the truth. And I would vote I'd vote for a Democrat if they had good policy and followed through with it. I don't.
Yeah, I've said the same thing. Yeah. I said the same thing. And one of my dear friends is the same way. Catherine Herridge. Catherine Herridge is not Republican or Democrat. She just wants the truth. And that's kind of my attitude about things. So.
Well, we got a whole new era of conspiracy theories brewing right now with what's happening in Venezuela. Do you have any insight on that as to what we're seeing here?
No, I know that there's some issues regarding I think the cast of characters of Venezuela right now, you'd need a kind of a bill of like a playbill to understand, because there's so many influences there. You got the Chinese, you got the Iranians, you got us. I think nobody really knows what to think of either side, because I've seen Elon Musk say things about leadership there that was odd. I've seen other people. I mean, it's really like bizarro land. So I don't know what to make of it. I do know that Venezuela does have an issue with the drug issues.
The cartels running the country.
Yep. Yeah, and so it's like, and I wrote a book about that. The last line is all about the drug war becoming a hot war. So maybe we'll see this. Maybe we'll see this play out. And we wrote this 11 years ago. So just saying, I think some of us saw this coming.
You see into the future, Tony. You just see it
right
into the future. And,
that's why my nickname was Spooky at the DIA. So just saying. So.
And your Twitter handle, right? It's also
that's right. Well, that's where it came from. That's where it came from. Spook.
But we also have we're doing drone attacks in Mexico on the cartels. Like first of all, I'm for peace at all times, but cartels are cartels. I mean, these are Satan worshiping, demonic, murdering people who are killing you with drugs or guns. Yeah,
it's all line. In there. We have some brutality that I had a hard time writing about that very thing you just said, and it's all real too, by the way. That happens down.
Yeah. Yeah, and now we're in a foreign country bombing the cartels who run part of the country. Like Mexico's been known for this. What's the outcome of this? Of us just randomly bombing cartels?
That's a great question. So let me give it a little bit of context. So we've known this was coming since the 90s. We actually proposed. We Army. I was the clandestine human intelligence espionage advisor to the.
Wait, what was your undercover name again?
Well, I have a lot of undercover names.
The porno name. What's the porno name?
Oh, Chris Stryker. I didn't use Chris Stryker. Chris Stryker. That's right. Yeah, it was a good name. That's for Dark That's for Dark Heart. Anyway, when I was down in Florida, one of my jobs as a reservist was to be the advisor to the Joint Interagency Task Force East, JADF East. Now it's JADF South, Counter Drug Task Force, run by the Coasties, by the way, down in Key West at Truman Annex. And during that time, we recognized that Mexico was going to become drug central. That, at the time, we had Venezuela, we had Colombia. They were all involved in this, Pablo Escobar, which I'll talk about in a second. So we recognized that Mexico was going to be the next big thing. And they were destabilizing it back in the 90s. So we Army said, let us go into Mexico and start doing things like it's a foreign adversary. And we got the big old finger from DEA. DEA said, "Oh, we don't want you in there." It's like, well, we know why, because they're like in there sucking up and doing illegal things. Like,
of course,
we don't want you looking at what we're doing, which is illegal. So anyway, that it got shelved. Well, here we are, 30 years later, and we're picking up. It's like, okay, we're just going to go start killing bad guys because, to your point, they're part of the government. We've already kind of done this. And my friend Mark Bowden, who has written some really fabulous books, Black Hawk Down, that's his book. He wrote the book that the movie was based on. Mark also wrote a book called Killing Pablo, which, by the way, I was undercover at Fort Bragg when I went to his book signings. We know each other now, but it was kind of funny at the time. It's like, I went through your line undercover at Fort Bragg.
Did you say, please sign to Chris Stryker on there?
I did not say that. I should have, though. No, I was down there. I had him sign both books for me, and he was there for the Killing Pablo tour, and I was assigned to the unit to kill Pablo. Just saying, it's kind of fun. Anyway, if we killed him, because
allegedly,
if you look at the book, it's like. But anyway, my point being, Eric, it's a long way to get to the point. We've already kind of done this. Yeah. We've already done this in other nations. So. It's more controversial that we're talking about doing it in Mexico. That's the real issue.
Yes.
Because Mexico has always been a special case. So I think
who deemed it a special case is the question.
Well, the Democrats. I think the people who recognize what's going on there with human trafficking, the drug cartels, people coming in and out of the southwest border. A lot of us who are, that's what we call it, the last line. I wrote this book to call attention to the fact we got problems down there, and we do. And so I think Trump's the first guy that says, enough with the BS, enough saying, oh, we interfere with commerce. There's too much commerce to it's always going to be there. You just got to figure out how to control the good guys and bad guys coming across. So
the commerce excuse is terrible. Like where else is Mexico going to sell their goods? We're like
exactly
a massive part of their
it's like Canada. Canada caved pretty quick on tariffs. Like, oh, we're just not going to trade with. He's like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll just give them now. It's free. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
But we'll wait. There is this gray line that I think people need to understand. Is like because I observe every gray line I possibly can. The black and white would be it's okay if we're at war with Mexico. That's the black and white. The gray area is try to determine that we're not at war with Mexico, who is allowing cartels to shovel drugs and kill our kids. So I mean, this is what's happening, and most of that's coming from China, because I think Judge Janine posted yesterday that they caught something like 7,000 barrels, precursors of meth.
Yeah, exactly. And so and I think there's something to that, and this is where I think Trump should go after China, Xi Jinping, because they do know what they're doing, and this is a method where multiple bad guy interests do come together. He called them all out for the Beijing thing. Look, you got China wanting to use the access via Mexico to undermine our culture. There's not a community I know of, Eric, that's not been touched by fentanyl. Not a one.
That's right.
Everywhere I know, even here and everywhere. So the Chinese know that. They're trying to do that. Secondly, we have the best politicians money can buy, right? I mean, look no further than Hunter Biden, Joe Biden. Come on, we all know that Hunter took money from the Chinese.
Be fair, Mitch McConnell. Let's throw him on that.
Mitch McConnell, his wife, Eric Swalwell, who's still, I think, trying to figure out which side of Fang Fang he was supposed to be out with, just saying. And it's I'm just saying, because there's no doubt he dated her.
Of course.
The question becomes, why did he date her? And of course, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, they're all compromised. Willie Brown is a representative of the best representative to the China in the state of California.
Yeah.
So come on. So they use soft power. So there's no doubt here that they do that. The question becomes, what do we do to stop? Well, you start holding Mexico accountable, whatever that means. I don't think people really know what that means yet. You start going after China and all this stuff. So I think it's good that they're trying to go back after these guys in the southwest border, because it's something we've known again since the 90s. This was all coming. So.
Oh yeah, it was easy to see, especially when you're talking about coming out of Central and South America. But Venezuela, the ship being blown up the other day, I try to keep things in the middle, right? Like, I don't know that those guys weren't fishermen. But at that point, I have to trust that our intel was sufficient that was a drug smuggling boat, and it is what it is. That's where we're at.
Yeah. So we don't launch on these things with that. I mean, again, my other book, Dark Heart, there's a great chapter where we go through kind of the legal parsing of information and how it's done, and it's pretty standard. We developed it during the 90s. Where you have to have a certain level of confidence that the target is that you're hitting is what you say it is. And there's ways we can determine that. I can't get into all of them, but there's a great deal of thought, at least when we're in charge, that we try to figure it out. So I'm sure if you go back and run the tapes, you're going to find that there was ample evidence. It's not like Joe Biden and his guys just, we see a guy running around, we're going to shoot it and hope for the best.
Kill him. Yeah,
that's not going to happen with these folks. So
arrest the guy praying in front of an abortion clinic, all that kind of stuff. Thankfully, those days are behind us now. One other thing, at least you were going to bring it up because we are in a dangerous area of setting precedent for future presidents. Right? These are areas of great concern to me. One of them being the National Guard in D.C. now heading to Chicago. Yeah. This is a great debate because I think, number one, the crime's out of hand. I have no hesitation in saying that crime's out of hand. But why is crime out of hand? It's because police chiefs are told by mayors to stand down on criminals. But now we're going and cleaning up the mess. I don't mind the National Guard being used to remove the mayor and the police chief. Go do that. I'm fine with that. Yeah. I do have a problem with U.S. military on U.S. soil arresting American citizens and confiscating what they're calling illegal guns, which in my purview, because I can read, I've known how to read for a long time, Tony. And I remember that there's this line in the Constitution that says shall not be infringed. So, we have this, it's an area, like people panic about things. I just disclose them. This is a slippery slope, and I don't think any logical person would deny that. But what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think they see that they're trying to get it right. Judge Pirro, I know I should get her name wrong, has said that if you or I show up there and we have a gun, they're not going to prosecute us, which is good because we're a citizen. We have that right. And I think she's trying to basically say no more felony convictions. That's over because we should be able to go armed because
you need to,
like you said, shall not be infringed. It's the nation's capital. It's not even a state. There should be no restrictions other than are you a citizen? Are you not a felon? Which I think even some this is going to sound controversial, even certain categories of felons should be given back their gun privileges if it wasn't a violent crime. I think we need to look at that.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm just saying that I think we need, and so she said, we're not going to prosecute this anymore, which is good because she has that right. Regarding, it's not the guns. It's not the guns. I have no problem with guns, people being armed. It's what you do with them. And I talk all the time about the fact that I right now within feet of me, I've got at least 8 weapons that I could reach around and grab.
Man, I've got 3.
And then I'm just saying, I know they're not going to sneak up and shoot me. Just saying, it's not going to happen.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
It's your right.
So when I see JB Pizza the Hut Fritzker say, "Oh, everything is fine here," it's like, no, it's not. He's a racist. Let me be clear on this. He's a racist. You know why he's a racist? Because he allows his black citizens who die at the rate of 100 to 1 more than the white folks of Chicago every weekend. 8 murdered, 53 shot this last weekend, and that's no big deal.
Yeah,
Eric, I was told by the left that's a mass shooting.
Yeah.
Am I not? So
an elongated mass shooting that went on for days. I'm from Chicago, so like I want my city cleaned up. It doesn't resemble what it once was.
Exactly.
And you're right. This is racist because there's no protection for the black community, which is by decree the government's job.
Exactly. So we're fine in our white enclaves. Don't you blacks? You got to fend for yourself. And by the way, you can't have guns.
Right.
Only the bad guys can have guns. And goes to your point. Only the bad guys who have the guns are essentially never prosecuted properly. It's like if you or I went there with a gun, we'd be in prison for 10 years. One of these guys, it's like, no. Oh, you shot someone? Oh, I'm sure you had good reason to shoot him.
Yeah. You're a refugee. Yeah.
So it's nonsense.
If you're a white man holding a gun, you're toast.
Yeah, they created this. This is bad policy over time that's created these horrific hellscapes. Yeah.
It's literally treasonous to the decree. The obligation of a governor or a government is to protect its people first and foremost.
It is.
If you're not protecting your people, you are treasonous to your oath and you should be removed from office. So let's use the National Guard to remove these people and the police chiefs and the aldermen in Chicago who vote consistently whatever the mayor tells them to vote, because that's how it works. And from there, right? They don't call it the Windy City because of the wind. It is windy, but it's the Windy City because of the hot air being blown by politicians. That's where the nickname came from. So until we remove these people, I'm going to have a problem with the National Guard standing on street corners with weapons. I just am. And people will bash me for that, but that's I mean, I've read the Posse Comitatus Act, right? Like, so I kind of understand that things.
I'm aware of Posse Comitatus. Yeah, the Guard can do things that the military can't. I'm with you. I'm not calling for the military.
Yeah.
And by the way, despite what they say, the National Guard's not trained. The National Guard. I used to be in the Guard. I was in the Ohio Guard to begin with, and so I know we're trained for urban support to law enforcement.
That's like a primary function of training. Yeah, absolutely.
So when Mayor, what's her name, gets on there and says, no, the Chicago one.
Brandon Johnson.
No, the former female one. She kind of looked female.
You're talking about E.T. I forgot her name too. She was so irrelevant in the world. What was her name?
She said recently, I would have no problem with the Guard if they were properly trained. It's like, they are properly trained. That's the National Guard's role. Civil defense, civil emergencies. That's what they do.
Right.
Just saying. So.
Right. Yeah, but to the average person, I mean, and the results in DC kind of speak for themselves. Although one thing, Tony, I'm concerned about is we're not getting reports on illegals being deported in this country for a while now. ICE hasn't reported that. It hasn't been a year. Like that's my saying with everyone is you give every person in office who was there for 4 years, you give them 25% of their term to get things right. And then the plan moves forward, whatever that plan is. I'm shaky on a lot of stuff. I also understand this is a psychological war, so we're not going to understand things. But I do find it fascinating that most Americans don't speak up about the things that concern them. And those who do speak up, like me, have people attack them online for not just trusting any politician blindly. This is the biggest problem in America right now. Not necessarily what's happening. It's the lack of courage of people to do what Benjamin Franklin said was our obligation, is to constantly question authority. That's what concerns me about America.
Well, I'm with you on it. So, Eric, let me be clear. I'm disappointed like you. Where are all the indictments, for God's sake? I mean, I know personally at least 5 people who should be indicted. Plus, there's the 2020 election rigging, which I want to have come back up because Bill Barr, as you and I have spoken about, came after me because I was doing my job to investigate, mass fraud. Oh, no. We can't have you investigating that. You're fired. So I want that investigated. So I'm like you. It's like, okay, let's give Pam Bondi some time to get things
also
organized.
A friend of Epstein, also a huge friend of Epstein.
Yeah, that's right. You know, Barr's dad gave Epstein a job at his school in New York.
Without a degree. He didn't have a degree, but yet he was a teacher at this guy's school.
Weird, huh? Weird. So, but so I'm like, it's like, okay, we'll give it some time, but I'm getting to the point of where something may not be right here. And of course, the stats, they've done a lot, like Alligator, Alcatraz. Okay, great. You know, it's kind of cool optics. Put them out there; they're not going to go anywhere. But you got to get rid of them. And I think, you know, I love Tom Homan. I know Tom, but he's got to go faster. He's got to find people who can go faster. And this is always my issue. And I've had this with multiple organizations. I actually exchanged some email with an assistant undersecretary on this. Like, you all need to go faster. You don't have all the political appointees in. And as long as you have people who are not on board or just neutral, you're not going to get things done. So you got to clear people out. So the two things they can do right now, is they should have already done, is get people into those jobs, even if it's temporary appointments. Get all the deep state folks out. They haven't done that. So that worries me. Secondly, the pace. Okay, 4 years sounds like a long time. It's really not. We're coming up on almost a year. It's September. We're 10 months, 10 months in. It's like, get with it, move forward. You know, you gotta get this done. So,
but Tony, what is happening rapidly, and this is a topic I definitely want to get your opinion on, is we are rapidly moving towards a massive surveillance state. The big beautiful bill, but $150 billion for border security. What do we need? The borders closed, I was told, but now we need more surveillance technology, which the old saying is, whatever you cheer for the government to use against other people will ultimately be used against you.
Absolutely.
And we just signed a contract with an Israeli software company that provides a software to ICE that allows them to hack any phone and pull its messages out. What are we doing? What are we doing?
So, and by the way, the Israelis get copies of that, whatever it is, too. Just saying, I know how the Israelis function. So,
but I'm told that because they're our greatest ally, that we shouldn't worry about a foreign nation having our national security information in their data.
Yeah,
this is an absolute. It doesn't even matter if it was the Congo. I don't want anyone being involved in our national security.
Yeah, no. So to that point, DOD has always maintained some separation from foreign nations. There's no foreign for a reason. When I was in combat, our area, our human intelligence area, was isolated from the other nations. I mean, by the way, Kiwi, the New Zealand Defense Force guys were actually in at the NSA element. Yeah. They were integrated. Some countries are. They could never come to our. So we need to have some separation at some level, and that's what we do. Heck, we have things we don't tell CIA about, which has driven some people nuts. No, I mean, I was telling some friends the other day about the first time Pat Hughes, General Hughes, and Bob Harding and I had to go in and brief George Tenet on a series of things I was doing. They had no idea, which is good. And we were only telling Tenet himself, nobody else, which we should have things that nobody else knows. With that said, there's an over-reliance on technology. Going back to Jim Clapper, when I briefed Jim Clapper on something once, I was reading him into it, and he said, I can't trust it because it's not electronic. It's not NSA. It's like, okay, you're an idiot. Because the electronic stuff, I would argue, can be spoofed.
Yep.
And secondly, you shouldn't be relying on it for everything because you become lazy. Yeah. And I think the proliferation of technology is not helping us. Having all this stuff is not helping. You need to have precision and accountability. And I would argue, get to a certain point to like you said, NSA has all this technology, they abuse it. You know, there's a horrible movie. Let me recommend to you, Eric. It's horrible, but it's illustrative of what we're talking about. It's Ice-T's version of War of the Worlds.
Ice-T. You're recommending an Ice-T movie. This is definitely.
I'm not, but you got but it makes the point you and I are talking about, because Ice-T plays a DHS intel guy, and he's abusing his authority. No, I'm not joking. This
Are you spoofing me right now?
No.
Is this spooky right now, Tony?
I am telling you the complete truth. This movie is so bad because it's good. It's bad. It's like Plan 9 from outer space. It's so bad, it's good. And by the way, did you see Vampira, That's actually,
unfortunately,
that's actually Kathy Hochul in her younger days. Did you know that?
yeah.
Look at the resemblance. It's uncanny.
Well,
Anyway,
a resemblance that's uncanny is Doug Burgum and the American Eagle guy from the Muppets. Look up the
that's
American
true.
Eagle. He
That's
looks just
true.
like him. It's Doug Burgum.
That's right. Sam Eagle.
Sam
Eagle.
Eagle.
Anyway,
Going
let
back
me
to the
finish my
Ice-T
point.
movie.
So check it out. It's horrible. It's a horrible movie. Don't pay for it to see it, but it's bad because it's good. It illustrates what we're talking about. This guy is actually infiltrated his daughter's refrigerator via the software on it, so he can monitor what she eats. I kid you not. And they're promoting this as a good thing. It's like, did you not see? And then he's
like your thermostat with a camera. Yeah. Your connected blender to your phone. These are all terrible ideas.
He actually does this thing where she's in the refrigerator and he talks down to her surveillance out of one of her Ring cameras, saying you should be eating more protein. Just saying. So anyway, I'm just saying it's a bad movie, but a good example of how surveillance is going to be and already is abused. Because this guy, from beginning to end, he ain't doing his job. He's trying to protect his family. Just saying. Well, spy on his family, really. But just go look at it. Ice-T, you know, he did a lot of good work, you know. But this isn't
like
one
CSI
of them.
or something like that.
Well, you know,
the gangster became the cop in his career was kind of interesting.
I'm just saying, just go check it out. But War of the Worlds, Ice-T, you know, later, see you later, Felicia, whatever it is.
Bye, Felicia.
So, bye, Felicia.
So, Ice-T or Ice Cube?
Ice Cube. Sorry.
Oh, no, he said Bye Felicia. Okay.
No, it's Bye Felicia. It's the guy that did Bye Felicia. So it's Ice Cube. So yeah.
Yeah, Ice-T, I probably wouldn't watch it. Ice Cube, I'll give it a look. He seems to be one of us. He called out the CIA making gangster rap. So I'll follow Ice-T.
I'm just saying you should go check it out because it's like it's so bad it's cringe, but it illustrates this point. So.
But it's predictive programming for all the business that we are sending to Palantir right now. There's so many concerning things, Tony, and I love that I can talk with you about it. So I'm jovial like this too. Like nothing I can do to stop it. So
yeah, well, I don't like the idea that the Palantir guy is now in charge of CDC.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, this is a terrifying option. Terrifying.
So I know. So I know why they're doing it, but I don't agree why. So this is the deal. There is a belief, and friends of mine do believe it. As a matter of fact, Steve Hatfield, my dear friend, Dr. Steve Hatfield, my advisor on COVID, great guy, recognizes that one of the ways we do legitimate passive surveillance on outbreaks is just look at social media. Just look at it.
Yeah.
If something happens, say if all of a sudden you got a dozen people with intestinal distress in a location, something's going on. If everybody's talking about it, okay, that means something. That's fine. It should be passive. It should be, someone kind of.
It's an algorithm for sentiment. Things. Yeah, I've been in that.
Exactly. Yeah. Bingo, and that's fine. But the moment you start doing intrusive things, which is what I'm worried about with Palantir, you start. We just want to get into people's lifestyles. Like, no, you get into lifestyle. You're getting personal details and you can't make those anonymous. Just saying, you can trace them back. So this is where I'm really concerned about why Palantir all of a sudden, it's like, I get this need for surveillance. I don't get the need for Palantir being over there to do this stuff. Just saying. So that I do have concerns.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, Tony, our time is up, man. This is always fun. Always fun.
Eric,
sorry. I'll see you a couple times this coming year. I'll see you in November. I'll see you in February.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being patient with me. Its schedule's been wacky lately, but I appreciate your patience. So
you've got
I always enjoy our conversations. Yeah,
same here. Yeah, you've got a historical figure to get out of jail, man. So I totally understand the hesitation.
That's right. I'm going to break him out tonight. See, put him on roller skates.
Well, Tony, thank you so much for joining us again. Always great to have you on here. God bless you. God bless this country. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Thanks.